again, kind of from, this is very like Marine Corps focused, but we always made the argument that we were communication officers, but we really should have been command and control officers. And I think how that connects to kind of a business world in the world we're in now is, I think communication in a business from top down is truly a command and control. And I say command and control, it's I'm at the CEO here up at the top, giving directive, giving intent, giving vision down. And then from those, the technicians, the people on the front line of it, or those middle tier managers giving refinement back up to the top, giving feedback up to the top. That's the control piece. So when you hear someone in the military talk about command and control or C2, that's the flow, the interchange. So I think the broader idea of communication is, how do you convey your vision, your feelings, your values effectively, and how do you come off in such a way that you are presenting that to someone that they can understand. And when you get to that, I think that's where the quality piece comes in. Firm intent, firm mission and vision statements, having established feedback mechanisms that allow for delegated authority, but then also clear lateral limits and strategic touch points. Like, I think that is where really quality communication, especially in the business world, comes into play. Do you have the systems in place where you are talking, and to what you were saying earlier, you're talking with the nuance of tone, the nuance of what do I actually mean? What's the truth of what I'm saying? And is that coming out? Am I being transparent with that? Or am I just assuming that someone's going to understand it, sending it downrange, and completely missing the mark? And then the systems aren't there where someone can ask for that feedback and refinement and have the conversation of, okay, what do you actually mean when you say that? So I think that's the big difference between how I view just standard communication or maybe subpar communication and quality. I'm interested if that meshes with what you see or what you've heard, or if that's something that you agree with or not.
Yeah, I love your idea of command and control, because when I hear that, I think of classic hierarchical military. Everybody probably thinks, oh, Nick just yells at all his people and that's command and control. But really, it's the trickle up of what's going on the ground. Napoleon needed to know what's happening with his troops to make good decisions, and that information going back up the chain of command is as much or more valuable than what's coming down. I've thought about communication. How do you define this simply for a long time? And I think for me, it's just developing a shared understanding. So we all have our little bubbles, our own worlds. We don't even know if we're real. Maybe this is the matrix and we're all computer programs. When I say one thing, a sports car, you think something, you think a Maserati, I think a Ferrari, you think yellow, I think red. And so developing a shared understanding, maybe more context describing it, that is a shared understanding of the battle space. If the command and control is going down, this is what we need to do, and going up, we can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. You're creating a shared understanding. It's the flow of information, of context throughout an organization, so that everybody's on the same page. And this seems super simple, but when, to my earlier point, you layer in tone and body language, and to your point, personalities and priorities, and maybe unspoken intents and goals, it gets really murky really fast, and you don't have a shared understanding. You don't have a clear commander's intent. You don't have a clear vision. People are all rowing in different directions. And in terms of quality, I think quality communication is concise and succinct, meaning that it doesn't take any more time or effort than it needs to. And that could be someone I know well. Like if you and I are guiding and we see something a little bit not copacetic, it might be a raised eyebrow, and you're like, yep, I'm watching that. And that's all you need. That whole communication, it goes down with just a raised eyebrow and a slight nod. No one else even notices. It might be a 20-page dissertation vision for where the company is and where the company's going. That's really in-depth and technical if you're trying to start a biotech firm or something like that. And it might be a poem, because the shared understanding that T.S. Eliot is trying to create, God knows what it is in the wasteland, but that requires those words in that order to create the same feeling the same context, the same ideas that he's trying to portray in his poem to a reader. So it doesn't mean that it has to be super short, but it needs to be as short as it can be to get that point across. Now I'm self-conscious, like maybe I'm talking too long.
You just validated the careers of every English teacher and every English professor out there. Like, yes, finally, someone understands.